Hey everybody, Senior Sedge here again, and today we're going to do a video on One Verb Stories. One Verb Stories came out of a place I was in a few years ago where I would do a card talk story with each one of my learners for the first however many days of the year, maybe up to 15, 20 days of the year. And then I would transition to traditional TPRS type stories using the scripts a lot of people use. But what I noticed is that I just enjoyed, in the classes, I enjoyed more the card talk stories than the traditional scripted stories. And while I'm noticing the difference in energy between the two, there's also the big debate going on in the CI community. Should we use targeted CI, targeted structures in our class or non-targeted? And the advantages to non-targeted is that the energy is a lot higher, the stories go wherever. But the advantage to a targeted CI is it gives teachers kind of a roadmap to follow for the year, within programs, within sections. And so the answer for me was to take what we do in Card Talk, where we're just really focusing on one verb. Jimmy plays the guitar, and you build a little story around that. Well, I'm going to do the same thing with all high-frequency verbs. So I'm going to take a high-frequency verb in Spanish, and just like I do with Card Talk, I'm just going to ask some of the basic questions. The verb with who, or the verb is my story. It's the beginning of my sentence. Jimmy, whatever verb. For example, in the video you're going to watch here shortly, it's going to be Trish gives. Da in Spanish is really high frequency. I want to get a lot of repetitions with that verb. So I'm just taking Trish gives. She gives what to whom, and where does she give what to whom. And with that, I have a little story. I form a sentence. I'm going to add detail as I go, but it's really simple. And it doesn't follow a script, so we can go wherever. It's going to have a lot of energy in that way. And the story is going to develop naturally from my learners as I'm getting details and getting suggestions as it develops. The other nice thing about One Verb Stories is that they're short. You can make them really short and be done with it quick. Or you can drag it on longer and add detail as you go, depending on what you need, minutes-wise or energy-wise in the class. They're a lot less anxiety-causing for me. When I do a one-verb story, we're going to create the whole story before I ever bring actors up. And that alone just calms me down quite a bit because I already know what's going to happen in the story. We've already discussed it. The learners have already seen it in their mind. So they're ready to go and ready to see it acted out. Then after I have all the base details, then I'll bring the actors up. We'll quickly act it out or take a long time depending on what you need. And then create the story. And like I said, you can add dialogue, you can add characters if you want to draw it out, but the base story is already there before the actors come up. And then finally, the nice thing about one verb stories is that they lend themselves very well to embedded readings, and I'll talk a little bit about that in the video a little later on. So here's the video of me doing a one verb story with the verb da, which means gives, and I'll interrupt as we go through just to make sure we're clear on some different things. But one verb stories have been really helpful for me in my program, and I'm hoping they really catch on in the CI community. Then say, and then Gina, Terry, Donna, you did the job. You tell me who the story's going to be about, right? Where's that? Okay, Donna. Donna, ¿quién le da? ¿Quién le da, Donna? So I just have a job where I give a class list to one of my students, and they decide who the story is going to be about, keeping track. That way, at the end of the year, everybody has at least one story, and they can create their little book thing at the end of the year. But that way, I don't have to decide who the story is going to be about. It's really nice. So Donna tells me the story is going to be about Trish.
Trish.
Ah, muy bien. Clase, Trish le da algo. So again, two options. You understand the statement and you go, oh, If you don't understand the statement, you do this. Let's try it again. Classic. Trish le da algo. Thank you very much. So we're just saying,
gives somebody something.
yeah, we're just saying Trish gives something. We're going to create a story together, like we've done in the past. We're just starting with the basic statement. Trish gives something, right? The verb we're going to try to get lots of reps with is da. Da. Clase, yo doy algo.
No.
Yo no doy algo. ¿Quién da algo? Trish da. Trish da algo. Clase, Trish da. ¿Qué? ¿Qué da?
What should she
Yeah.
do? A Christmas tree.
I want everybody to come up with something. A Christmas tree? Trish le da un árbol de Navidad.
Lombardi trophy.
Trish le da el trofeo Lombardi.
Carpet.
Trish le da alfombra.
Gatos.
Trish le da gatos. Trish le da cerdos.
Deck.
Deck?
Patio.
Oh, Trish le da un patio. Un patio le da.
Avion.
Avión? Trish le da un avión.
She's pretty good.
Trish le da vidrio de uranio. Uranium? Interesante. ¿Qué le da?
A wheelbarrow of bricks.
Trish le da un cartillo de ladrillos. Un cartillo de ladrillos.
Money. Dinero.
Dinero. Trish le da dinero. Le da dinero. Dana, ¿qué? Un columpio. Trish le da un columpio. So as you're developing your one verb story, in the beginning especially, get lots and lots of suggestions. You want your story to be good, get tons of suggestions and find the one that's got energy, that people think are really funny, and ones that aren't going to be too far out of bounds for what language they already know or don't know. Because if you go way out of bounds and you're going to have to introduce a whole bunch of new vocabulary that your learners haven't had exposure to, it's going to take a little bit longer. But notice here, for this first question, I'm trying to get as many suggestions as I can, and I'm using the verb each time. She gives money, she gives cash, she gives, and I'm saying gives each time. Interesante. Clase. Trish le da gatos.
I don't want any.
And no quiere tener. And no quiere tener gatos. Trish le da gatos. ¿Cuántos gatos le da Trish? ¿Cuántos? 6 gatos? 5 gatos.
Siesta.
1000 gatos.
Too many.
Billón gatos. 11 gatos. Ok, clase. Trish le da 11 gatos. 11 gatos. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés 11? 11. Yeah. Trish le da 11 gatos. Trish le da 11 gatos. ¿A quién? Trish le da 11 gatos. ¿A quién? ¿A quién le da 11 gatos? So now that I got my sentence for my one verb, to give the story energy, I ask with whom, or in this case, to whom, and then also you'll see me ask later, where. Those two questions will give you the energy for the story and help you develop a good one.
Everybody she sees.
Todos, gatos.
Queen of England.
El Wolfman, le da el Wolfman.
Queen of England.
La reina de Inglaterra le da gatos.
Easter Bunny.
El Pink Power Ranger, el conejo de la Pascua le da gatos.
The Tiger King.
The Tiger King le da al Tiger King. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama el Tiger King?
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
That's definitely his real name.
Muy bien. Terry, Trish Leida. ¿Quién?
Sí, no, I know.
Mining super.
Trish Leida Gatos a.
Willy Wonka.
Oh, yes. Muy bien, me gusta. Excelente. Clase. Trish Leida 11 gatos a. And who'd you say? I already forgot. No, you didn't have a second one.
Didn't you say snake?
She did say snake, and she said Totos.
Todos
Yeah.
and snake.
What are you thinking of?
What did I say?
You also have Joe Exotic.
No.
You
Go ahead and two to see this. Two, it's too hard for me to decide. Two to see this. Two.
You decide?
Two to see this. Trish le da 11 gatos a.
Oh, I say anyone. Everyone she sees.
Okay. It will go with Joe.
Joe Exotic, yeah. Trish le da 11 gatos a Joe Exotic. Donna, can you translate what we have so far? Trish le da 11 gatos a Joe Exotic. Moment while you're developing your sentence here for the one verb story, check for comprehension. Find the learner that may be fading out and bring them back in. So she does a great job.
Trish gives 11 cats to Joe Exotic.
Fireworks. Uno, dos, tres. ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde está Trish? ¿Dónde está Joe Exotic? Trish le da 11 gatos a Joe Exotic. ¿Dónde?
In prison.
En prisión.
Right, that's where he is.
Prisión. In el Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Bermuda Triangle.
En el Triángulo Bermuda.
At a nickel mine.
En una mina de nickel. I'm not going to say nickel.
Try Canada then.
They don't know they.
Wrigley Field.
En Wrigley Field. Donde juegan los Cubs? We gotta win after 11 losses. Gana, Cubs, gana. Classic. Trish. Le da 11 gatos a Joe Exotic in el Bubblegum Shrimp Factory.
Oh.
So that's it. That's my story right there. Trish gives 11 cats to Joe Exotic in the Bubba Gump Shrimp Factory restaurant. That's all I want. Now you can add details, you can add dialogue, you can add characters, however you want to do it. But we got our story done, and now it's just a matter of acting it out, adding different things that we want to. But you can see how it's low anxiety for the actors that are going to be called up, and you as a teacher too, because you already know what's going to happen. It's not something new. You're not going to have to introduce new topics, new things later on. We're good to go. So here's how it plays out after you've got the structure, the framework for your story. Hay dos bubblegum shrimp factories?
Mucha.
Hay muchos?
Sí. Es un restaurante.
Oh, it's not an actual company or a factory or something?
No,
It's a restaurant.
Es un restaurante.
Yeah.
Liz, you know a lot about bubblegum shrimp.
Oh, I do.
¿Dónde está el restaurante, el Bubblegum Shrimp Factory, cuando Trish le da 11 gatos a Joe Exotic?
Mullins.
In New Orleans?
Yeah.
In Nueva Orleans? In the French Quarter?
No. different
Okay,
part.
go ahead and toca la guitarra con Barney.
No.
No.
That's not their people.
Diferente parte de
Yeah.
Nuevo Orleans. Okay.
Fast battle.
Muy bien, excelente. Okay. ¿Quién es Joe Exotic? Yo necesito un actor
Uh,
para Joe Exotic. Trish is Trish. Trish is Trish. Pero ¿quién es Joe Exotic?
Good show.
I just feel like he should be. I don't
Carol?
know.
Dominated early.
I dominated.
But I will.
All right.
I don't know what Joe Exotic wears, but you're
I
right.
don't know either.
I say the pink one.
I was gonna say the pink.
Let's get
You
exotic.
should be, you should have been.
No.
Does he wear leopard print stuff? I watched
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I watched
remember
it.
that. I never watched it.
I actually never watched it.
Oh my god, it's so TV show.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say, do you have a cat?
Un día,
11.
un día Trish está en su casa. En su casa.
The mail.
Yes.
Trish mira Netflix. Mira Netflix. No mira Stranger Things. Trish mira. ¿Cómo se llama el programa en Netflix con Joe Exotic? Tiger King. Oh, Dios. Trish mira el Tiger King.
Yes.
Trish
Your red
mira-
hair?
Hair might have been
He was.
Trish mira Joe Exotic en la televisión. Trish dice, no, Carol ¿cómo se llama
Carol Baskins.
No, Carol Baskins!
Is that the girlfriend?
No, she
No,
put
that's
her husband
Archie.
whacked him.
This is the
Oh,
lady.
okay.
All I know is that my wife and I went to a date on East Peoria on the riverfront, and there was this big sign at the restaurant that said, F Carol Baskins. And I just was like, I have no idea what's going on.
Right?
I actually.
Yeah.
Some lady out there.
She's
is real
she's
bad.
definitely super sketchy.
Anyways, Trish le dice, no, Carol Baskins!
No, Carol Baskins.
Joe Exotic necesita el tigre. Yeah, what do you say? Joe Exotic
Joe Exotic.
necesita
Necesita
tener
tener
tigres.
tigres.
Trish le dice a Gina. Gina! So here I just add another character to get a dialogue about giving cats to Joe Exotic. You don't have to do this if you're in a time crunch or you're nervous about the story, but I like to get extra dialogue, so I'll just pull in a character and have a little discussion about where Joe Exotic is, just to get a few more repetitions with the verbs.
Gina.
Yo quiero dar
Yo quiero dar
un gato
un gato
a Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
¿Dónde está Joe Exotic?
¿Dónde está Joe Exotic?
Prison.
Gina es muy inteligente. Gina le responde, Joe Exotic
Joe Exotic
está
está
comiendo.
comiendo.
What's that mean?
Eating.
Eating. Remember that NDO? Joe Exotic está comiendo en el Bubba Gump Shrimp Factory. Company.
Factory.
Restaurant.
Company.
Okay.
In
Never heard of it.
El Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
company.
I thought it was Bubba Gump. I thought it was like the
Bubba
Forrest
Gump.
Gump thing.
It is, right?
It's like a Planet Hollywood, or
Yeah.
it's a
It's a chain.
tourist,
Like a rainforest.
you can get merch and all that stuff.
Trish le dice, gracias, Gina.
Gracias, Gina.
De nada, Trish.
Trish agarra 11 gatos. 11
What am I
gatos.
grabbing?
We're going to count them out. Trish Trish agarra 11 gatos.
Uno.
Tres.
Cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez, once.
Y Trish corre a Bubba Gump Shrimp Company in Nuevo Orleans.
I'm running to it.
Trish
Tiger, what a tiger.
entra al Bubba Gump Shrimp Company y mira Carrie, mira Evan, mira Liz, pero no mira Joe Exotic. Dice, ¿dónde está Joe Exotic? En el restaurante.
El baño.
En el baño, exacto. En el baño. Trish entra el baño. Y mira Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic no está contento. Joe le dice, ¡Hey! Un poco de privacidad. Un poco
Un poco
de privacidad.
de
A
privacidad.
little
What is
privacy.
he saying?
A
I
little
thought you were
privacy.
insinuating something.
No! A little privacy! Trish le dice, Joe,
Joe,
Carol Baskins es malo.
Carol
I said it wrong.
Baskins is,
Carol Baskins es mala.
Mala.
Carol Baskins is mala.
What is she saying there?
She's
Bad.
bad.
Carol
Bad
Baskins
lady.
is bad.
And he would like that.
Es muy mala.
Es muy mala.
Joe Exotic le dice, sí,
I
yo
feel
quiero tener mi tigre.
Yo, Tenera.
Yo quiero
Yo, Kiera,
tener
Tener.
mi tigre.
Tigre.
And what's a tigre?
Tiger.
Glenn, could you please draw this? I totally forgot to ask
Oh.
you to draw. You can just do one scene, the quick bathroom scene. But hey, keep it appropriate. Sure. Trish le dice, lo siento, Joe.
Lo siento, Joe.
Yo no tengo
Yo no tengo
un tigre.
en tigre.
Pero, what's pero mean?
What?
So what'd she say? Yo no tengo un tigre.
I'm sorry.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have a tiger. Pero,
But, pero,
yo tengo
yo tengo
muchos gatos.
muchos gatos.
And now what's that mean, Carrie, when she says, yo tengo muchos gatos? Meow.
I have a lot of cats.
A lot.
Yeah, I
have a lot.
have a lot of
Cats.
cats, yeah. Trish le dice, Joe,
Joe,
¿tú quieres gatos?
tú quieres gatos?
Joe le dice, sí.
Sí.
Yo
Yo,
quiero
quiero
11
11
gatos.
gatos.
Trish está contento. Trish le da un gato a Joe románticamente. Trish le da
Give him,
un gato románticamente.
give him a
Yes,
cat.
romantically?
Give it to him.
Trish le da otro gato. What's otro gato?
Other.
Another cat. Contentamente.
Give
Lay
it-
down, lay down.
give happily.
Well, we're up to 2, right?
Yeah.
Long way to go.
I'm having-
We're not adjective.
Are
Trish,
we getting to 11?
Trish, le da el gato locamente.
That was crazy.
Give it to him crazily. Trish, what are we up to? That was just 3.
Now I'm
Okay.
getting the feel of this.
Okay.
Gives 3 cats on.
Let's do a little math here. 11 menos 3 son...
Ocho.
Ocho. Okay, ocho. Okay. 11 menos 3 son 8. Okay. Trish, le da 8 gatos a Joe. I need a new adjective. Let's just do romanticamente again. Trish, le da 8 gatos a Joe romanticamente. Big round of applause for our actors. That's my one verb story. We just take the verb gives, and with asking questions from the class, we co-created a great story with the verb gives and got lots of repetitions. The learners saw it, or they heard it, and they saw it in their mind's eye before it was ever acted out. So it's kind of like you're telling the story twice. Once just establishing the details, and then the second time when your actors acted out and you have added dialogue to give more complexity to your story. So those are one verb stories. I hope that everybody ditches the scripts and does one verb stories in their classes.